overwhelmed with blessings. I don't want to cry because I'm not gonna cry out here, y'all. But oh my goodness. Welcome back to Life with Janos. We are blessed. We know you are too. If you are new to the channel, my name is Angie, and if you're not, hey y'all. So let's get into Trust God series part 2. So this part I am super excited to go over and share with you guys because it's a part of what I am currently living through in my life right now. So if you didn't watch part 1, go back and watch part 1, child, okay, so that you can get caught up, okay? All right, so part 2, just backstory of part 1, being thankful, being grateful for everything that God has done since I've moved here to Texas with all the blessings, and I'll start there. So, of course, like I said on the last one, during that time, I was just living my absolute best life that God had given me. Blessings on blessings, getting promoted to sales floor manager, having my family, my mom, my dad, everyone visit me, and just being able to show and share with them the blessings that God gave me. And during that time was the time that I would say I loved that time. And sometimes you would call it like your waiting season, or your waiting season. It's a time where we wait for a bunch of things that we ask God for, whether it be a new job or a partner, future husband or spouse, or financial stability, home, whatever it is you ask God for, and you're just in that period of waiting, praying on it and just seeing if it'll happen for you, if it's in His will. So after working, just getting promoted to sales floor manager, that time was my time individually that I took. As I said before in my previous video, I had just gotten a long relationship, and I was focused on myself. That was my individual waiting period with myself, getting to know myself, getting to know my morals, my values, truly investing in myself, and having God to take me along on the journey, fully building my relationship with Him. So it was a waiting period, but also it was a building period for me. With God, right? Him molding me, Him taking certain things and certain people out of my life because it no longer served benefit to me. It no longer helped me on the journey that I was going through with getting to know God more and getting to lean on Him more and trust in Him more and fully have a relationship with Him. So during that time, I was happy, went to brunches with my girlfriends, worked out a lot, did everything that I like to do that helped me build the woman I am today. So I had that time to, just take a step back and allow God to work on me, allow Him to fully work on me. And that was one of my favorite times because I felt very... how would I explain it? I felt during that time happy. I felt like self-awareness, like I know exactly who I am. I know that God has a plan for me, and I know that I'm on this journey to, you know, live out whatever God's plan is for my life. So I felt super happy. And it allowed me to grow. It allowed me to grow all aspects of my life, my spiritual life with God, financially, individually, of who I am. So that was where I was. That was the mindset of where I was. So the testimony that I'm going to go over with you guys today starts with, after realizing that, hey, I got it. I think I got it together, I think I'm happy. Well, I know I'm happy. I know who I am. I feel solid. I feel like I have a foundation within myself. And, having the Lord to help me with that and mold me and change me and make me the woman that I was becoming. I remember I watched a sermon, and then I sat down one day and I saw this lady, and she was saying how she prayed and wrote down a list for her future spouse. And for me, I had heard, like, we all have lists that you write down, like, this is my perfect list for my future husband or my future wife, right? I never had heard someone say that they wrote down a prayer list for their future husband or their future wife. So after I had watched that video, I sat and I thought, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna pray about it. So, I prayed to God. I'm like, God, I think that I'm ready. I have a solid foundation within myself. I am not a person that likes to be single. I am not a person who likes to date. I am a relationship person. So, I went and I prayed and I asked God with an open heart, humble, and I said, Lord, if it's in your will, I am ready. I'm ready to meet my future husband, my future partner, on your time. Not on my time, but on your time. Please allow me to, be ready for this blessing that I'm asking for, but I believe that I'm ready. So I give this part of my life to you. I give him my whole life, but specifically I was praying that, Lord, I hand this aspect over to you. I no longer want to control it. I am giving it to you. So I prayed that prayer. I felt really good about it. And I didn't care after that if it was, 2 months, 3 months, 3 years, 2 years. I don't care what time it was. I was going to be patient and wait on him. So during that time, it's easy for us to try to control things because that's in our human nature, So I could have easily, started to date and be like, okay, I'm going to help you out, God. I'm going to get dressed up. I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, and let's see if I find my husband. But I continue to focus on myself. I continue to focus on my work. And, that was my motivation, my full motivation, working on myself, of course, maintaining my relationship with God, and, my work, my job, my new promotion, just being the best that I could be. I continued on that. I did not focus on dating or anything at all. So, of course, God always has his plans, and when we picture things that we ask him for, it's never how we get them. It's always 10 times better, okay? But it's never how we see them happening, right? So we've already told the story of how we met. So if you haven't watched it, go back and find that video, child, okay? But then I met my soulmate, my future husband, Joseph Llanos, at the dealership that I had worked for 2 years, not once, never even talking to him. And he'll tell you the same thing. We never even talked to each other for a whole year and, some change. We never even noticed each other or anything. And now that person is a person I can't imagine my life without. I can't imagine. So, God blessed me with my future husband, and it wasn't that long. I would say maybe a year. Yeah, maybe a year after I prayed that prayer. That's when Joseph and I got together and started dating, and of course became a serious couple, and now I'm engaged. But it's just, the testimony to that is, I feel 100% in my heart that if I would have not gave it to the Lord, if I would have just focused on trying to date, trying to make it happen myself, I don't know if I would have, I don't know if it would have been as easy. It was not planned. Joseph and I just happened. It wasn't like we planned it or wanted to date each other. It literally just happened, like a puzzle finding the last piece, and it stuck together. And it's crazy because we always laugh like God has a sense of humor, because we knew each other forever, like 2 years, not even notice each other or anything, and then all of a sudden it's like, this is the person I belong with for the rest of my life. This is my husband. And for me, it's just so, I don't want to cry. It's just an amazing thing, because we pray and we ask God for things, and He delivers on another level. When you fully trust in Him, and it's easy to say something, right? It's easy to say, okay, God, I want this person, and I'm whenever you're ready. But when you fully believe it in your heart, when you fully have that faith in Him, and you fully give it away to Him, and you don't worry about it anymore, and you just keep going on with life, that shows your true faith. And I feel like God just fully blesses you 10 times more than what you could have imagined. I got everything on my prayer list plus some with Joseph Llanos. So it just goes to attest that sometimes we try to control things, or sometimes we're just not ready, right? Sometimes we date, or whatever the case may be. In this instance, I'm just sharing my testimony, right? But whatever the case may be that you're waiting for, sometimes we make it happen, and it happens fast, and it's not what it's meant to be. That's not what God had planned. But when you actually trust God, build your relationship with Him, and wait on Him, and be patient, it's nothing like it. Because then you look back and you're like, wow, God, thank you. And I'm grateful because I didn't have any hiccups in the road, as far as relationship goes. After my last relationship, I didn't start dating, and I didn't get hurt. I didn't go through things. I was able to just live my best life, and then when He felt it was time, I got exactly what I asked for plus some. And with that being said, after that, my life changed. And again, it's that bamboo season, meeting my fiance, and getting pregnant, buying a beautiful home. Again, it's the bamboo season. Once you fully trust God, you fully pray and ask Him for things, you fully devote your time to Him, make time for Him, I'm just like, wow, wow. Like, I'm just grateful and I'm thankful. Words just can't express how grateful I am. And during that time, I will say I didn't feel lonely. I didn't feel like I was missing something, because God has a way of making you, of filling the voids, of filling those places that we try to fill with other things. At least from my experience during that time of, just enjoying life, I wasn't worried about it. I wasn't worried about finding a partner. I wasn't worried about finding my future husband because I already gave it up to God. And, you know, it allowed me to build myself as a woman, because also the other thing is, and it was TD Jakes who said this as well, we ask God for blessings a lot of times, but sometimes we're not fully ready for those blessings, right? As individuals, as a man, as a woman, you know, character building, dealing with past trauma, building our relationship with God, a solid foundation. Sometimes we ask for blessings that God's like, hey, you're just not ready for that right now. But if you trust in me, if you wait patiently, allow me to build you, allow me to remove this, allow me to add this, and go through that process with me, then when it is time, when it is his time to bless you with that blessing, you'll just look back and just say thank you. Just say thank you, because you don't know how much you skipped. You don't know how much God saved you from. And that's how I personally feel. I don't know what terrible relationships I would have had, or I don't know what, you know, I would have went through, what pain or what loneliness I would have went through. I didn't go through that, you know. I went through building myself with him and not feeling lonely, having beautiful friends, having my family, and just having the time of my life, and then being able to meet my fiance, and still now to this very day just overwhelmed with blessings. I don't want to cry because I'm not gonna cry out here, y'all. But oh my goodness, just talking about it just makes me emotional, because God truly loves us. And it's just a difference when you give something, you give your life to him, or you surrender a part of your life to him, and it comes back tenfold, you know. And I think the most important thing to remember is that if you're gonna trust him, you have to trust him, you know, and you have to make him first. You have to make him first in your life. He has to be the priority, because God is too great. He can do anything in this world. He's too great to be second to anything or anyone. So I'm gonna end this vlog because I don't want to start crying. But of course, with that, after meeting Joseph and, you know, being the happiest that I could have ever be in my life right now, there is a lot more testimonies to come about, you know, us going through the testimony of buying this beautiful home, you know, the process of having a baby, you know, all these beautiful things. So I will do those as well, but just wanted to do this testimony of how I found, you know, or not, I didn't find, how the Lord blessed me with my future husband, my partner, and just going through that waiting season and fully trusting God. And you can apply this to anything. You can apply this to a job. You can apply this to a career. You can apply this to a business that you're trying to start. You can apply this to financials, whatever it is, right? It's the same. Once we trust him, once we give him full access to us and not try to control it, and fully believe that he will on his time, after that, there's no worries. You know, take a deep breath and give it to him, and let God work in your life. And again, I'm just a living testimony to that in itself. So hopefully you guys are inspired by this video. Hopefully you guys are encouraged by this video. I try my best to keep my promise and upload once a week. But hopefully you guys love this video. I love you guys. God loves you guys. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Again, I'm very transparent. So yeah, I'll see you guys on part 3. Trust in God.